Pizza. You like pizza, I like pizza, we like pizza. If you live in America, there is almost an 100% chance you have eaten pizza. Pizza is just such a large food, so much so you are most likely to eat it at least once in your lifetime, whether you like it or not. Maybe you ate it at a local restaurant, or as a school lunch, or maybe you ate authentic Italian pizza. But mostly, if you're eating pizza, you're eating it from a large pizza franchise. Maybe Papa John's, Pizza Hut, Chuck E. Cheese, or even Marco's. But more likely, your pizza came from Michigan. You don't usually think about Michigan as a pizza-loving place. If you think about Michigan's history, you probably only know about the War of 1812 or Henry Friends with Hitler Ford, especially since Michigan's much more recognizable commercialized food is cereal. But the more you look into it, you'll find a rich and extensive history of pizza in Michigan, or mostly Detroit. As a born and raised Michigander, this makes me happy. So join me as we discover how Michigan took over the pizza industry. Before we begin our deep dive into the history of pizza in general, one big disclaimer. A lot of history surrounding pizza, especially in the early days of pizza, is disputed, especially when some pizza franchises themselves tell lies based on outdated information. I do believe that I got most of my facts straight, but if you find an inaccuracy, tell me. Anywho, the story of pizza in Michigan and the history of pizza in general begins with Greek colonists settling the southern coast of Italy. Many ancient cultures ate a form of flatbread, which is the bare minimum of pizza. One of these cities founded was Naples, the birthplace of pizza. The name pizza was only introduced in the 16th century, derived from the word pita. Naples had a large number of poor people. Pizza was extremely cheap and required little room to make. Slowly, pizza evolved, and in the 1700s, with the introduction of tomatoes into Europe a few hundred years earlier, allowed people to expand what a pizza was with tomato sauce. Later on, cheese would be added, which completed the three modern aspects of pizza. In 1830, the first modern pizzeria was opened in Naples, called Antica Pizzeria Portabla. Pizza would continue to grow in Naples going into the 1890s. Between 1880 and 1950, over 25 million Italians immigrated across the world, including the United States. The newly founded nation of Italy still had much poor people, causing many people to leave for America, some bringing pizza with them. This is also the reason why other countries like Canada and Argentina have strong pizza cultures. Many of these Italian immigrants were coming to New York specifically. Filippo Milone was the first known person to open up a New York pizzeria in 1898, after opening up a grocery store in 1897. Pizza in New York continued to expand, mostly being eaten by Italian immigrants. As Italians began moving across the country in the 1910s and 20s, the amount of people eating pizza increased. Some speakeasies, after losing money at the end of Prohibition as commercialized alcohol became normal again, began investing in different types of food. One of these speakeasies was Buddy's, a former speakeasy turned bar in Detroit. Buddy's was losing money. After the war, Gus Guerrera and his brothers bought into the bar. The end of World War II saw an explosion in pizza production as many had more money to spend at restaurants and at new foods. It was the beginning of the pizza revolution. Gus hoped to sell pizza to stand out from competitors, renaming the business to Buddy's Rendezvous Pizzeria. Working with his wife Anna, using a Sicilian dough recipe from his mother, and pans used in automotive factories for spare parts, Detroit-style pizza was created. Later, the couple sold Buddy's and opened Cloverleaf's restaurant and bar, continuing to sell the same Detroit-style pizza. Many other pizza places popped up in competition, making similar styled pizza. The popularity of pizza continued to grow, as many families had more money to spend on food. Pizzerias continued to expand across Michigan, leading to the rise of the Michigan Pizza Giants. In 1954, Mike Ilitch, a former minor league baseball player, went on a date with Maria, and the two would be married very soon. In 1959, the couple would open the first Little Caesars in Garden City. People expressed their loves in strange ways. Meanwhile, in 1960, Dominic DeVarty wanted to sell one of his pizzerias, Dominic's, to focus on his new restaurant, also called Dominic's. He sold the pizzeria in Ypsilanti to Tom and James Monahan. In 1961, Tom bought his brother's share for a Volkswagen Beetle. These two businesses would become the largest pizza chains from Michigan. In 1962, the first franchise of Little Caesars was established in Warren. In 1965, Dominick's was renamed to Domino's, and in 1967, the first franchise of Domino's was opened. In 1969, Little Caesars opened its first international restaurant in Canada. Meanwhile, more pizzerias were popping up. In 1973, the first Hungry Howie's was founded by Jim Hearn out of an old hamburger shop in Taylor. That same year, Domino's introduced the 30-minute guarantee, giving customers the pizza for free if the driver did not arrive in 30 minutes, whether they got the pizza to you legally or not. In 1978, instead of making a smart financial decision by buying a house, Eugene Jetz founded the first Jetz Pizza in Sterling Heights. In 1983, Domino's opened its first international location in Winnipeg, along with their first pizza tracker. That same year, Hungry Howie's opened its second location in Southgate. In 1985, Hungry Howie's rolled out flavored crust, which has become their main selling point. In 1986, the second Jet's Pizza opened. Coming into the 1990s, Domino's and Little Caesars were in the second and third largest pizza franchises. One pizza franchise rose above both, Pizza Hut, which is from Kansas. Each of these pizza franchises had their own specialty. Domino's focused on delivery, innovating in how pizza was transported. Pizza Hut had a great dine-in experience, allowing them to cut in their own corner in the market. And Little Caesars was just dirt cheap. They didn't even have delivery, but they had extremely effective marketing. 2 pizzas for the price of one was extremely appealing. The pizza empires were at peace until Little Caesars messed it up. In 1993, Little Caesars introduced the Big Cheese, a 24-slice behemoth. The pizza was extremely effective, causing ripples throughout the pizza industry. Pizza Hut responded with the Bigfoot, which they launched with a large advertising campaign, including leasing a $4 million blimp with a logo of the Bigfoot pizza, which crashed into an apartment building in New York, injuring 2 people. Little Caesars was quick to make fun of them. Domino's also came out with the Dominator, a 30-slicer that could not be delivered, which failed heavily due to the fact that Domino's was mostly focused on delivery. In 1994, Little Caesars entered the delivery game, but due to Domino's and Pizza Hut's perfection of delivery, they failed to make money off of it. In 1997, to boost sales, Little Caesars made a deal with Kmart to put 500 Little Caesars in Kmarts. This would seem like a great business deal until you realize Kmart filed for bankruptcy in 2002. It did not help that Target soon added Pizza Huts to their locations. Ultimately, Little Caesars was falling behind. They were having shaky deals with their franchisees, they broke up with their main advertising partner, and overall their quality of pizza was still terrible. Eventually, Little Caesars fell behind Papa John's, slumping down to the number 4 spot. Meanwhile, more and more pizza franchises began to grow, with Jet's finally franchising in 1998. But now the war is mostly between Pizza Hut and Domino's, and Pizza Hut was struggling. While they were competitive in delivery, better than Little Caesars at least, they were still mostly a dine-in restaurant, which would always be less convenient. Their previous strategy of creating new and interesting pizza items to bring people to physical locations was just not working anymore. Meanwhile, Domino's was always innovating and expanding their delivery service. Back in 1994, they were the first to introduce ordering online, which turned out to be a great investment. In 2008, they introduced the Pizza Tracker online, allowing people to be more satisfied with the speed of their order. Meanwhile, while this also affected Domino's, the Great Recession did not help Pizza Hut's business. In 2009, Domino's did one of their most risky marketing moves. Responding to many complaints, Domino's announced to the world that their pizza was terrible and tasted like cardboard. They said that they had reinvented their recipe, causing many to flock back to their pizza. Now it's debatable if the pizza quality had increased, but the strategy worked. In 2017, Domino's did the unthinkable. They surpassed Pizza Hut, becoming the largest pizza chain in the world. The relatively quiet underdog in the early years of the conflict had come out on top, winning the pizza wars. During this time, Little Caesars was coming back for their number 3 spot. They were able to gain trust of their franchisees and refocus at what they're good at, cheap takeout pizza. In the early 2000s, they introduced the $5 hot and ready pizza, and soon reintroduced the Pizza Pizza slogan. Little Caesars thrived with COVID, as their takeout model allowed them to do much better than dine-in restaurants. Overall, today Domino's still sits in number 1 in terms of sales, with Little Caesars in 3rd, Hungry Howie's sits in 8th, and Jet's Pizza sits in 10th or 11th place. Some of Michigan's small pizzerias have risen to household names, continuing to innovate in their respective fields. Little Caesars collects Detroit professional sports teams like their Infinity Stones. Jet's only buys cheese from farmers whose cows actively listen to Mozart. Domino's is currently experimenting with robot pizza delivery in Houston. The former CEO of Little Caesars, Mike Ilitch, was a really charitable person, even paying for Rosa Parks' apartment bill for most of her life. I don't think that helps them much in sales, but I think it's good to mention. Overall, the history of pizza in Michigan reveals a rich story of innovation and expansion, and these companies will continue to look towards the future of pizza.
Это Горбачев.
Горбачев.
Это из-за него у нас в экономике бардак.
Да благодаря ему у нас новые возможности.
Это из-за него у нас политическая нестабильность.
Да благодаря ему у нас свобода.
Полный хаос.
Перспективы.
Политическая нестабильность.
Да благодаря ему у нас есть писахат.
За Горбачева!
За Горбачева!
За Горбачева! За Горбачева!
Sometimes nothing brings people together like a nice hot pizza from Pizza Hut.